What's up, guys? It's Micromat here. Today we're going to be reacting to Clownfish TV. They're mad the MCU kills women. Today, this is gonna be my first video I'm actually recording. Before I'm recording the video, it's gonna go live Monday. So I want to say I did get a comment the other day, which I appreciate the feedback because I'm gonna try to take it and apply it. So if I see something I possibly can give another perspective from, I'll try to give another perspective of like be more reasonable. Cause like I ain't going to deny it. Maybe I have been a little too harsh, but like I'm just getting fed up, mad with some things in the world that's going on, and I don't need to take it out on everybody else. I need to be more respectful and try to remain productive, be fair, try to be fair. So that's what I'm going to try to do here, and as well as the other two videos that we go live this week. Let's get into this.
So a new Star Wars movie came out. So of course the usual
Very
suspects are
depressing.
back at it again. This time in lockstep, all these articles are appearing about how Marvel and
10 years after Captain America's Civil War, Marvel is still letting down women. Still letting down women. Okay. I don't like this. I'm going to be as nice as I can here. I don't like this title. It feels like it's very telling that they're wanting to I'm just going to go off on a foot here and say they're trying to say Marvel's being sexist. But I could be wrong. I'm going to listen to this a bit more. Wait, is that Mary Sue? I might be able to look up this article. But they're probably gonna go over this, so I'm gonna let them do this since it's their video. I'm just a reaction channel.
Star Wars are hurting women or keeping women out or doing damage to their female characters. Because whenever everything the Force was female and we had the MCU, they were all about it, right? But now they're like, oh, this is bad, guys. This is you're hurting women. You're just ruining female characters. And we're gonna talk about this because it's a
I want to mention this. Sorry about that. When She-Hulk, I never watched She-Hulk. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it looked or anything. But when She-Hulk released, the thing that I seen the most of was the scene of She-Hulk twerking in a professional office space, and I'm like, I still can't help but think that is a very damaging to a woman's appearance. Cause like you're like, take them seriously, take them seriously. It's not a joking matter and all that shit. And it's like, but then you twerk in an office space, not just any office space, but a place of like where lawyers and all that shit do that, like where you're practicing a law. It's very telling of unprofessionalism. And I just feel like there's an appropriate, like, yes, like you can make jokes in it, but like when it comes to something like that, it just feels, it felt forced and very out of place. I did not find it funny whatsoever. So like I want to say that did some damage to the female actors on Marvel. It's like poor writing. And the actors not being able to keep their mouth shut. That definitely did some damage too. You know, like cuz they're receiving a lot of hate and backlash, which is not completely justified, I would say, because they're not the writers or anything like that, they're just the actors. But then here's where it becomes justified, where they defend their actions, they defend their characters, and they just start calling people sexist and all that shit. And then that's when I would say you deserve the backlash that's now coming your way. If you had kept your mouth shut, I would say you probably wouldn't have deserved as much backlash as they're getting. But they always, yeah, I want to say they always have to make a statement like, "Oh, it's because my skin color is this," or "It's because I'm a woman." I'm like, no, it's because the writing is dog shit, and it's just shit. It just is. It's poor writing. Now that's not on. Still will say that's not on the actor. It's just poor writing by the person who ever wrote the script. But the hell, they might not have had a choice. Maybe they had to write it that way because the CEO wants that shit or whatever. Like the more DEI, like more power to women and all that shit. The thing that pops out of my brain is like the fact that they're trying to suggest She-Hulk's stronger than the Incredible Hulk, which is just not true. It's just a fact that it's not true.
Load of crap. And like Neon's not going to do this video because
Really?
he's busy for one, but two,
Oh,
he
shit.
knows there's no point in him saying anything because immediately if you have a penis, you're automatically disregarded. Like doesn't matter what you say. As soon as you're a man, even if you have valid points, it immediately is, you're just a misogynist, istophobic, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna make a statement on that one. That from anyone that has some common sense, that's not true. Like if you make a good point, you have a good point. But that goes for people that only have common sense. There are I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but I'm gonna say there are people who are lacking common sense and will disown your opinion just because you're a man. And even though like you have a good point or anything like that, they won't want to listen just because you're a man. But those kind of people, well, they're just sexist. That's just really all it is to it. I will always pause, by the way, in this video and make my thoughts heard. If you want to watch the full video yourself, I will link it down below. But we're going to keep going now.
I'm a woman, have the vagina and everything, stretch marks from having babies to prove it. And I'm here to stand up for people who don't have a voice because they're not allowed to have one. So bring it on, ladies, because I'm a fellow woman. So are you gonna come at me now? Because
Probably.
you keep speaking for all women, and it's not okay. Now, to be fair, in a couple of these articles, they do have some valid points, but it's like corn mixed in the pile of crap. Like there's a couple of valid points that are mixed in with a bunch of things that are clearly just narrative. And we're gonna talk about it today. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, grab your butts, because where we go. I am Kiki Sparkles. Hello, and welcome to Clownfish TV. Please give a like and subscribe, and if you do, I'll give you a woohoo. Woohoo! And I'm also supposed to remind you, since Neon is not here, if you would like to see more of us, you can go out to more.clownfishtv.com. For less than the cost of a super chat you pay other places, you can get a month of extra content that you will not get over here.
Pretty cool.
Also, if you prefer an audio version, you may listen to that at Clownfish TV Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I think we're most places. We're all over the place. You can't get away from us. So, we're going to talk about this. The Mary Sue today. This is Leah. 10 years after Captain America Civil War, Marvel is still letting down women. No, I'd say Marvel let down audiences.
Yeah.
Again, for all their talk about this and female-led stuff and how it's all men, women...
she probably won't say it here. It is statistically proven that women actually like to see attractive female characters and attractive male characters. But people will try to paint a narrative saying like, oh no, they want to see diversity and all that. But it's not the case. They want to be told a good story, just like everybody else. We all want a good story. We want a good show. I watched the last, Marvel movie? Wasn't like Endgame or something like that? I think it was Endgame. That was the last Marvel movie I watched. I did want to go watch Venom, but I never got around to it. But other than that, I haven't heard anything good about any other Marvel movie. Other than Spider-Man. Spider-Man was pretty good. Spider-Man and Venom, I think, are the only ones that are doing pretty good. But I know they tried Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. I don't know what the fuck they said. It's Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. And other shit. But look, I just people want to be told a good story. If they feel like you're preaching to them, they're not gonna want to watch that. I wouldn't want to watch that. I watch movies and shit like that because I want to escape from reality, just like everybody else. Reality fucking sucks. We got bills. We got to go to work. Life happens. Life kind of just sucks. And if you can pull us out of life just for an hour, where we don't have to think about our shitty day, then you're doing your job. You've pulled us out for like out of our shitty day for like an hour to 2 hours. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, you earned my money. I'll pay for the movie.
Didn't go see them either. If it was for women and letting down women and letting down female characters, and women were the core demographic, and women wanted this, women would have gone to the movies, but they didn't. And even like, the Marvels, it was a male
Ooh, see?
dominated audience. Just saying. So you can't say this because it's not true. It just means audiences. Let me fix it for you. Audiences don't want this. Problem
Yep.
solved. That's one article we're going to look at. We're also going to look at this one from Amy Hart here at Polygon. Star Wars sacrifices women to bring the Mandalorian to the big screen. It was always the Mandalorian and Grogu. And when they had strong female characters, people got mad about it. Anyway, then there's another one. All in lockstep in the last 3 days or 4 days. Sex, politics, and Star Wars. How Disney's 4 billion fandom turned socially radioactive. Opinion. Allison here. I think we might have talked about this one before. And about women are scapegoats for film culture. It's already crumbling. It's like women were always important to Star Wars. The expanded universe was chock full of really strong, really well-written female characters. That Disney...
Princess Leia was one of the best characters ever in Star Wars. She was like strong, independent woman character who was well written. But they will not acknowledge that. There are other female characters in the Star Wars franchise that are well written, strong. Like in the animated series, Ahsoka Tano, she's well written. She comes off as strong and dependable. Massage Ventress, she's well written. She comes off strong and dependent. She's not really the good guy, but hey, it's like you see what I'm saying. Like there's other characters, and like I haven't read the books. I don't care to read the Star Wars books, but I know there's more characters. But they don't want to acknowledge that because I'm just saying that does not support the narrative. That does not support the narrative they're trying to push. Yes, I probably have my own narrative, yeah. But what I'm just trying to say, it is a fact that there are other strong female characters in the Star Wars franchise that they are refusing to acknowledge. Because they are trying to paint a narrative.
Through out the window. Don't give me this crap. And it's always probably people that are weren't old enough to be around when this stuff came out. They're just talking about talking points. They're all like the one I started being a writer in 2014. I think it was this person. And I was, I'm important when I go to award shows. Men are talking about their opinions. It's like, come on. You know what? Come on. We're gonna start with the Mary Stu. Now, like I said, there's usually a couple good points buried in these articles, but this is Leah here. Leah's going to tell you all about it. So we criticize the things we care about because we want them to do better. Yes, but it's okay when you do it, but it's not okay anybody else does it. If anybody else does it, they're an istophobic tool bag, man baby, fanboy, even if you're not a man. But you criticize because you care. But everybody else criticizes. This is because they have no valid criticisms. So maybe none of your criticisms are valid, Leah. I mean, we can do this all day. So when I
Sorry. Dog out there chasing cats.
I say that in the decade that has passed since Captain America Civil War, the cinematic universe has largely failed its female fans. Please note that I'm doing it out of the love for the franchise. Oh, fuck you! Sorry, I'm supposed to be...
A love of the franchise. If you actually loved the franchise... I'm sorry, dog trying to chase the cat again. If you so-called love the franchise, then you know what you're saying and what you're spewing is absolute bullshit. There are independent female characters that are very great characters, well written. And the fact that you refuse to acknowledge it is just abysmal. And like I watched through the entire animated Star Wars series, there were tons of female characters there. They were independent and like dependable characters, like well written. Some evil, some good turn evil, some just straight good Jedi. But like we won't, see, she's not going to acknowledge any of those characters. Like not going to acknowledge the voice actors or anything like that. I'm just trying to be as nice as possible. I get it if like she says she loves the franchise, and that's the reason I'm being as nice as I am. But I like the franchise. I'm not gonna say I love the franchise. If I said I loved it earlier, that's my bad. I like the franchise. I love the series. I like the franchise, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't love it, and she says she loves it. And if you loved it, then you should have read the books, all the books. You should have watched the series, all that shit. And if you did do that, you actually did all that shit. Then what you're spewing and what you're saying right here is just a complete lie, and you know it's a lie. But if you didn't do all that, then you don't love the franchise. You like the franchise. You and I can forgive that ignorance. I am ignorant myself, but like this is just like I feel like this is just a piece like they're throwing out there just to try to get clicks. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Working on my swearing, but you know what? I'm sorry. Fuck you, Leah, because you enjoy and care deeply about it. You know what, Leah? So many of us care deeply about Marvel. So many of us care deeply
Oh yeah, I
about
love
Star
Marvel.
Wars, She-Ra, etc., etc. But when we call stuff out, toxic, man baby, fanboy, insult, insult, insult. Oh, the accolade. Any of the criticism was
She said She-Ra. I've actually watched She-Ra. That's a show I actually liked. It was very unique. I liked the ending. I ain't gonna spoil any that thing when I watch it. It's like the Legends of She-Ra. I liked it, but I felt like it was heavily probably I never read the book or anything like that, so I don't know if they changed it. But like Bo, the character Bo is like he's gay. I don't know if he was always that way. And She-Ra, she's apparently like either lesbian or bi. And I'm like, I have never read the book, so I can't tell if they changed that or if it's always been like that. I mean, like if it's always been like that, I'm like, hey, that's fine. But if it's like they changed it for the series, I'm like, that kind of bothers me. But I still like the shit series enough to actually buy all 3 seasons. There's actually like 5 seasons, but they didn't have the rest of it. But hey, who knows? I sure as hell don't, because I don't care to read the book.
you know, based on reality or, valid. It's like, oh, hell no, Leah. Hell the fuck no. Because we weren't allowed to say anything. And especially if you're a dude, you're not allowed to say anything. But Leah, because Leah cares about Marvel.
Everyone is always free to express their own opinion.
Well, so do we. So do we. I'll continue. On certain corners of the internet, certain men, here we go, but not all, you're welcome. The ones who agree with me, you're fine. You're welcome. I excluded you. Wow. I hope your IQ is higher than your bra size, Leah. Leah dubbed later phases the MCU. Yeah, I even called it the MCU. Everybody calls it the MCU because that's what you did. You got to phase 4. You got to the first phases that came along with the purchase of Marvel, the plan that came with it.
It was called the MCU because a whole bunch of female, I started doing a whole bunch of female Marvel characters, and it was not very well written. It was not well received because it's not very well written as well. And then when it was given actual valid criticism, they wrote it off as sexism and attack the fans. So that's the reason people started calling it the MCU. They also, I believe, they started with the comics, doing that with the comics too. But I cannot promise on the comics. Like they started like prioritizing female-based comics, but I cannot promise on that. I know DC started doing that. I don't know if they backtracked on that or not. But I'm just saying.
And then when you got to the next phase, you went all in. It's time to race swap everybody, make it all women.
I hate race swaps.
And
It's
you
so
know what? And
fucking
guess what
stupid.
happened? They didn't do well, except for a handful of a couple, like not even a handful, a couple, things that didn't do that. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and a couple other ones.
I love
It went
Galaxy
to
Guardians 3.
shit. Okay? Audiences didn't go. And again, I want to take this moment to point out women didn't go see it either. If it's because men are ruining Marvel and it's men, well, the women didn't show up either. And maybe women showed up for these movies because they thought, Chris Evans was America's ass. That he, maybe they showed up because they thought that guy's hot. I want to see him. Loki, hello. Everybody was there for, Hiddleston and stuff like that.
Loki's pretty hot. I mean,
because they thought he was hot. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But women didn't come either, so don't give me that. Do not give me this load of shit. And they're talking about overindulgence, inclusive storytelling. It was you literally took every character that was popular and race or gender swapped it. You can't have.
I can't promise to that because I haven't watched that. Yeah, like I haven't seen any like gender swaps, except one. There was one gender swap I remember, and that was Captain America, where they swapped him out like for what was her name? Carter or something like that. They swapped it out for the female spy, and I didn't so much have a problem with that for the animated deal. But if you're trying to say like they're just gonna go with that forward, I'm sorry, no. I would just have to disagree with that. Because honestly, I much prefer like the Captain America. And when I say I much prefer, I mean I heavily prefer Captain America. As for the race swaps, I don't know. I can't think of anyone off the back of my hand that was race swapped. Now, I'm not going to say that she's lying, because honestly, these people do their research, and I'm sure they race swapped somebody. And I'm sitting here trying to think, I'm like, do I remember anyone that got race swapped? The reality is I don't remember. I wouldn't doubt it, though.
Captain America. So now we have Ms. Marvel. We can't have Bruce Banner, so we have She-Hulk, which they put him in there too, because Mark Ruffalo. You can't have, it's like every character ever.
She-Hulk
we have
sucked.
Riri Williams because you can't have Iron Man. It's ridiculous.
I still hate that they killed off Iron Man. I hope he comes back, because if he doesn't, like, you might as well just kiss that franchise goodbye, because I'm sorry, ain't nobody gonna do Iron Man better than the person, I forget his name all the time, the person that played Iron Man. He is that character. And replacing him would be very difficult. I'm just saying.
Or America Chavez was Captain America. I don't know. I give up trying to figure it out. Ironically, all the comics that they keep trying to base this on failed miserably repeatedly, and they had to reboot them over and over, and it still didn't do well. Even selling number ones again didn't do it. Okay? Because no one wanted this. It was lazy ass. And it's an insult to minorities anyway, because basically the only way anybody's going to read a comic about you is if we race swap a character or hand the mantle to somebody else. That's just dumb.
That's kind of insulting.
That's just
now
dumb.
Think about it.
So they're talking about that. They said, from my perspective, the MCU has done overall pretty bad job supporting and representing women on screen. They actually did quite a few things with women on
screen. Okay. She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. Let's see, what else is there? What was that one deal? It was, okay, I'm not going to say that because that's DC action now, think about it. Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. It's on the tip of my tongue. She just mentioned it. Oh, yeah. Captain Carter. The Scarlet Witch. I can't remember her name. Wanda. I'm like, that's 4 characters right there. and they did that in like in a span, I think, of like 3 to 4 years. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, like misrepresentation or doing a poor job of representing females, because representing females, somebody's just doing some pretty ass writing in the background.
Screen. Black Panther's now a woman. Everything else, I don't know
Oh,
what to
yeah. They gender swapped that because like I'm not going to blame them too much on that one. The guy passed away from cancer. Yes, that was very sad. Honestly, he was amazing. He would have fit Black Panther perfectly. And I mean perfectly. So I don't if he had lived, I do not think they would have been gender swapped him. But unfortunately, he did pass away. So they probably seen an opportunity and just decided to gender swap him since he's not around to play the character anymore. So that's like 5 characters. I don't agree with this too much, but hey, at the end of the day, I didn't pay for the franchise. Disney paid for it. So if Disney wants to run it into the ground, I'm like, that's their choice. If they want to not listen to the fans and just continue on their way, I'm like, by all means, do so. I guess I might live long enough to actually see Disney run to the ground and go bankrupt. Now that would be something.
tell you. Like they had constantly were putting women on screen. They said from Marvel, the corny and mockable lady team up in Avengers Endgame. Okay, yeah, I'll give you there. You got to point that one. Yes, mark your calendars, guys. Someone admitted, one of these women from the Mary Sue and other places admitted that the whole women assemble thing was stupid. Because it was stupid. As a woman,
Yeah,
I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my God, can't we just have the women team up with the men? Why do they have to have their own moment? Like, yes, ladies, it's estrogen time. You know, it was stupid. To badge it up. They said too, dropping old female characters like hotcakes and not staying by actresses and women directors who received vitriol. Because some of those actresses and female directors deserved it. They were acting like assholes. Okay?
Yes.
They got
Again, yeah, they were acting like assholes. If I could just remember her name, the one that played Miss Marvel, her Twitter account, could go look at her Twitter account, and I probably could find the old tweets she made about literally attacking fans. Not say fans, people who disagreed or disliked Miss Marvel like representation in the series, and like she was attacking them like verbally, which is a mistake. If you got nothing nice to say, my best advice to you is say nothing. Stay quiet. Because the second you open your mouth, you're just adding fuel to the flames. That is literally all you are doing. It's fucking stupid.
true because the way they were behaving. It is what it is. And forget about romance. Well, yes, of course, forget about romance. It's a fucking Marvel movie.
Romance.
Like, people aren't really, you got a little bit of like Captain America and stuff, the first one. But most of those movies are geared for men. I'm sorry, you don't like to hear this. Same for Star Wars. It is a male demographic. It is. Do you have some that cross over?
Okay, romance is nice and all, but oh, here's Daisy. Come here, Daisy. I'm gonna put you in my lap. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Romance is nice. Look, romance is nice. I like to see it, but they're not very keen on putting romance in. And if you're watching a Marvel movie, romance should take like the back burner. You should honestly aim for action, interest, like grab people's attention. You want it to be entertaining. If it is not entertaining, nobody's gonna want to watch it. Go on, Daisy. I guess you're getting down on my lap. Go. Go. Dummy.
Or at least in Marvel, but for most part, male demographic. And if men like romance movies, as some do, they'd be going to the romance
What
movies.
did you get into?
And you're the only way you get women in there is it was a whole rom-com. No one wants a Marvel rom-com but you.
Ew.
Black Widow felt too little too late.
A Marvel rom-com sounds horrible.
Agree with you there. I will give you that one too. Black Widow getting a movie after the character was dead and couldn't be brought back for some reason, or everybody else could, was stupid.
Yeah, that was poor timing.
It's called she didn't want to come back for it. She wanted to move on to other things. Scarlett Johansson wanted to do other stuff and didn't want to come back at the time. That's what it was about. It wasn't like because they were just treating their women actresses like crap. I don't think she wanted to be there. Honestly, I don't think. But the Black Widow movie coming when it did was stupid. I agree with you, and I think that was more of an Ike Perlmutter thing, if I recall. They were like, "Oh, no one's going to buy, female figures and stuff like that," so they were kind of pushing it. But to be fair, he was one of the people behind the original plan, which worked pretty damn well. But Black Widow was too little, too late. It also came out during COVID and all that, which no one could have foreseen. So, it's a whole plethora of issues there. But I'll give you that one. That one and the all female Avengers team up thing was stupid. 100%. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
So they're going about, that, and then they're talking about, speaking of female characters dying, spoilers, they said, for, these universes. The last few years have been brutal. Pretty much every major and several female supporting characters died. I said the Civil War. Gamora died in Avengers. Yes, she could be brought back, but Black Widow couldn't for whatever reason because the actress didn't want to come back. All right. And then Nat died in Avengers Endgame, as far as we know. Wanda died in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I don't think she did. Or if she did, I know Elizabeth Olsen's kind of making comments like she didn't want to be in there anymore either. So that could be partly why. But it's still left open-ended on that one. An alternate universe version or variant of Peggy Carter died in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes. And so did everybody else that was there with them. And so did Maria Rambeau. Yes. And so did everyone in the room, male and female. That was the point. They all died. All of them.
Like
They
Illuminati
didn't
or some
just say,
shit.
"Oh, you have a vagina, so I'm killing you," and not the penis people. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. So you're stretching. At this point in time, you're like a contortionist here. So they said they're talking about Eternals. The one character died in Eternals. Jane Foster got superpowers and died in Love and Thunder. Again, nothing of value was lost there.
I heard Love and Thunder sucked, which is a real shame.
Secret Invasion, Maria Hill died in the first episode. And you know what? People were mad about that one. They were mad about Black Widow and they were mad about Maria Hill. Because the Maria Hill death was stupid. I mean, Secret Invasion, first of all, was a train wreck. We don't speak of it. Secondly, that everyone was not happy about the Maria Hill situation. Like, that's not just a you thing because it's a woman. Everybody thought that was stupid. Pointing that out. Aunt May died in Far From Home. Yeah, of course Aunt May died because there is no Uncle Ben. I think that's called, I would say that's called being fair.
That's sad.
That's called equity because there was no uncle, so they killed the aunt. They didn't say, "Oh, you can't die because you're not important enough as Uncle Ben was." No, they made it.
They changed the appearance of Mary Jane in the second game. She looks so bad compared to the first game. They had her attractive in the first game, and then the second game comes around and I'm like, "Oh, you made her too attractive in the first game. You better make her ugly in the second one." And they did. They uglified her. Sorry if that does actually sound mean, but I'm just saying it. I'm saying this not as an opinion. This is just an objective fact. They made her uglier in the second game. You can literally do a comparison. If you find her more attractive than in the second one, then more power to your opinion.
Aunt May as important as Uncle Ben, and everything else. That's why they killed Aunt May. Okay? You're really reaching here. Taskmaster died in Thunderbolts. Taskmaster was an annoying character that no one liked. She was stupid. First of all, Taskmaster was always a dude, and they gender swapped it to a woman. No, you're not mentioned in that part, are you? Lazy gender swap, the typical MCU era, I'm going to say, just to piss you off. And then they killed off Taskmaster because Taskmaster was annoying and no one cared. Everybody was kind of like, yeah, okay, step over it. Let's move on. And then, they didn't kill off Florence Pugh's character. No. She's out going on. She's one of the leads. She's like one of the lead, if not one of the leads. She's definitely, I was like ensemble cast, but she's supposed to be like the lead, I think. So, you don't mention that. Agatha Harkness died in Agatha All Along. Yeah, she died on purpose, and now she's still there as a ghost character, so she has another dimensional power. That was so she could level up. It wasn't because oh, they killed her off because she's a bad character. No, she chose to die. She set herself up to die, and now she's like next level. None of these aren't good examples at all. Like, do you even hear yourself? I mean, these are just really, really, really pushing it.
I feel like they're trying to. This person's trying to stretch the truth. Not who I'm watching, but like the person who wrote this article is trying to stretch the truth to paint a narrative because it will get her more clicks. But like I can understand that. Like that's like just how people go nowadays. Like you need more clicks to make money to keep your job to stay relevant, pretty much. It still sucks though.
Oh, they killed off the queen in Wakanda Forever, but they made Shuri the Black Panther. I'm just saying. So that all this don't feel like a little overkill at Marvel headquarters. Oh, do you want to talk? Oh, and then Sue Storm died in Fantastic Four, and she was revived for our infant son. Yes, because it's a lot more impactful when Mummy dies than Daddy. Okay.
Oh yeah,
They also made her like the
that's
main
true.
character too. So I don't know what to tell you. You're being ridiculous. And we had male characters that disappeared. Steve Rogers got sunset. Now he's bringing back whatever. They killed off Iron Man.
Yeah, that sucked when
They
they kill off
haven't
Iron
just like
Man.
not killed any male characters or sidelined male characters. You're being ridiculous. Yeah, I'm well aware Iron Man died and Vision died. And I know Steve Rogers ruined the perfect ending of Agent Carter season 2.
Excuse me?
I thought it was stupid to make Steve Rogers go back in time for that too, but come on. And then they go on about that and they're talking about, but they still have gainful employment in the MCU. But you're not acknowledging the fact that some of these people might not want to come back. Like Scarlett Johansson didn't want to come back. I think she made that clear.
Some of these people do not want to acknowledge that like people want to retire or don't want to do some characters anymore because they got too invested or just don't like it anymore. They want to take different opportunities. They want to go somewhere else. They want to spread out. They don't want to be just known for one character. And I can understand that because if they decide to kill off that one character and you're not known for any other characters in any other franchise, well, you're kind of fucked. You're out of a job. You have a good reference, yes, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a job in the industry just because you got a good reference.
Because Elizabeth Olsen doesn't come back, which I still think she might. She's made comments that she's about doing other things and how you get locked in. And if you're locked in, then you're kind of like beholden to that. And I don't think she liked it so much. So maybe people chose not come back. You're just being, oh no, oh here we go. She-Hulk, guys. News is coming. News is coming. She-Hulk, guys. Here we go.
Oh, great.
It's far hard for me to talk about what happened here. Marvel and She-Hulk, a film that was funny, colorful, and character-driven all ways.
Funny. Describe funny.
Marvel was practically dead on arrival.
Here's what I found funny. I found it funny how quick it died.
Marvels. Okay. The Marvels, from my understanding, my son and his friend who went to see it, who were both men, said that it was better than Captain Marvel. It was better than that one. However, women didn't go see it. Like the most of the movie flopped at the box office, and men were still the dominant audience. Women didn't go see it. And here's the thing: I think a big part of that too was they overhyped up, Captain Marvel. There was some weirdness there. Sorry, there were empty theaters, tickets sold. They were busing people in. People went to see it because they felt like they had to watch it to see, Endgame. I think that's why they went to see it. But it is what it is. It wasn't that popular. And then the other characters in it, you had to have watched the Disney Plus shows. And as we've seen with like the Mandalorian and other things,
no, fuck that shit.
The extra homework turns people off. Captain America, Brave New World, same thing. Extra homework turns people off. A lot of people don't even watch Disney Plus. They don't watch the Marvel shows. They're like, who the hell are these people? I don't even know who they are. I don't want to go see the movie. And it is what it is.
The only reason I'd get Disney Plus is to watch some older shows that I used to watch. And even some of the newer ones that were like got early cut off, like the Owl House. Great series, by the way. Fantastic. Honestly, I loved it. And it was a real shame that they didn't get the proper ending that they deserved. Because Disney made a poor decision in not listening to the people. And then by the time they finally listened to the people, production was already it was already pretty much set in stone. Hey, it's already done. It's gonna end. There's nothing we can do about it now because it would cost too much to go back and re-edit all this, to redo it all. It would cost too much. It wouldn't make up. We would lose profits. So we all basically got cucked.
But women didn't go see it either, Leah. Sorry, this is gonna be a long video. I'm just bracing you now because it's a lot of shit, and I'm just gonna have some words.
Well, that's fair.
Oh, She-Hulk attorney at law received some ridicule online as well. She-Hulk, it wasn't as bad as what some people were saying it was. I didn't think it was as bad as what some people said. That being said, doesn't make it good either. Okay, it wasn't as bad as some people said, but it wasn't great either. And the ridiculing, they were literally putting people into the movie that were supposed to be like Doomcock and shit. You know, like they were deliberately trolling everyone. They treated like, you know, they have Kevin Feige in there and they act like he's an idiot. You know, and they have like the robot with a hat on, you know, like he's just and then apparently she was bossing him around behind the scenes and bragging about it. I'm like, this is
would
stupid.
be annoying.
It was stupid. And it's not lost on me that Chloe Zhao's Eternals, a superhero movie team with excellent gender parity, was just dropped and discarded because it was characters nobody knew. And I'm sorry, people didn't think it was that good. And Chloe Zhao had to be reined in by Marvel because she wanted to blow the earth up and ruin the whole MCU. I mean, you cannot be this stupid, Leah. You have to be digging. Like digging down feet into the earth.
I'm sorry, like she's starting to get really unhinged. That's fucking. I like it. I like the energy. It's very funny.
Find little nuggets of fossilized shit to sit here and say that's the way it is. Because your narrative is really, really, really.
I can't match that energy right now.
It is really pushing this narrative. I mean, you are really reaching. Ironheart Echo were dropped to Disney Plus with minimum.
I forgot about Ironheart. That was so bad. They fucking changed it. I can't remember everything they changed about it because I never even heard of Ironheart until like its series was getting released. And then it turns out like they changed it from the comic. I don't know if they I think it was a gender swap, but I can't promise that. I know the character tried to say, like, oh, they're smarter than Tony Stark. Bitch, you stole shit from a high-tech, if I remember right, it was like a high advanced deal, advanced facility, and magic, if I remember right. I could remember wrong because I didn't want to watch the series. But I remember like the intro, how she built her deal, I believe was like using magic, dark magic, to make her suit. Iron Man built his fucking suit, his first Iron Man suit, in a cave with scrap metal. Scrap metal. And you had to use magic just to get yours to fucking work. You didn't have to, like, to sign over your soul or some shit. Like, it was fucked. Like, it's just dumb. Dumb writing and all that shit. And I'm like, you fucked it. Just by adding that line, like, I'm smarter than Iron Man, you have fucked your series. Because you have done nothing that would say you're smarter than Iron Man. It would say you've done something as a way make you way stupider than Tony Stark. Because Tony Stark never signed away his soul for his suit of armor, but you signed away your soul for a suit of armor.
Well, fanfare. I watched Ironheart. I didn't watch
Got
Echo.
into that a
it
little
wasn't
bit too
that
much.
good. I'm sorry, it wasn't that good. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And honestly, I think they were just dropping him that point because they already knew that it wasn't going to resonate with people. And again, Ironheart was just a cheap-ass replacement of Iron Man, and also Ironheart was a porn movie in Japan.
What?
They ran that one, people would be a lot more interested. I can tell you that much. They said it's laughable to think the MCU is catering too hard to women. They're barely trying. Oh no, they greenlit a bunch of shit and they put money in it and they did it, but they knew audiences weren't going to respond. And that includes female audiences, Leah.
I'm not going to respect this, like, a response to this article saying they're not trying hard enough. I'm not going to give them the respect of response to that bullshit.
Honestly, you could take all these fossilized pieces of shit and shove them back up your ass. You're so full of it.
Oh my god.
They did.
Damn, she going hard.
They were catering hard. like on this side, but it didn't work. And women didn't go either. So you can sit there and argue, oh, men, it's because of men, because of men. No, I don't argue it's because of women. Because the
It's
audience
always
didn't
supposed to
show
be our
up.
fault.
If women wanted this and they're catering to this audience of females and they want women, 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 they didn't come to the movie. They'd rather come to movies with, like, you know, Chris Evans. Sorry.
They like attractive men, and men like attractive men because they wish they could be those attractive men. But what they're trying to do is pander to women. Like, they put women character in there, and they expect that to be successful. My problem with that is you have no fan service. The female characters are attractive, but you have no, like, zero fan service. So you don't have the male demographic really showing up because, on top of no fan service, it's poor writing. A niche character. And then you're still trying to pander to women, and women want to see an attractive male character. Would rather see attractive male characters like Iron Man, like Tony Stark, Captain America, I wouldn't say the Incredible Hulk, maybe the Incredible Hulk, Daredevil. What else is there? Black Panther, but he's not possible anymore. Star-Lord. I think he's pretty attractive, I think.
Sorry. Tom Hiddleston. They'll come for that. Take that as you will. But you are forced because women didn't go. And it's ultimately on women, not men, for why these movies failed. Because they're giving them movies and shows, you know, that should be, you know, appeal to them and on a silver platter. Look, aren't you the hero now? It's like Doctor Who. Don't you want to be the doctor? And women are like, no, I want to be the companion. It's like you're trying to make it something it's not. And the target demographic and the big demographic is always male. So just putting in a chick in it, making her gay and making her lame, doesn't mean women are going to come see it either. They didn't come. More women came.
I love that South Park reference. That was the funniest South Park reference ever. It's like a South Park reference from Catherine Kennedy, where Eric's like Catherine Kennedy or whatever the fuck her name is, and it's like we could remake Bambi. It's like, put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. I love it. It was amazing. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a Dr. Pepper real quick. I've already had one. I'm gonna have another. Oh fuck, man. This is a bit more fun. Sorry. I don't have a cold, but I don't feel the best in the world.
The movies when they didn't do that than they did when they made these changes.
Woo.
I think Disney's figuring that out pretty damn fast. Okay, you're so dumb. They made Blake Lively and the Deadpool movie cameo and make a meta joke about everything sucking after Endgame because it does. I think that hurt most of it all. First of all,
here's something else that's frustrating me. Is like the deal with like Deadpool. They're wanting to last I heard, they want to recast Deadpool. It's the last I heard. I'm like, if you recast Deadpool, you might as well put a nail in the coffin because nobody will want to watch that. Let's go. I forgot his name. The guy that plays Deadpool originally is Deadpool. He is the merc with the fucking mouth. And he stands up, he was standing up for like what people wanted, which was what the fans wanted. And Bob Iger and all that shit didn't like that because he would go against the grain. And he also took hand in writing a lot of the storylines. I want to see another Deadpool movie, but if like another Deadpool movie comes out and the guy that plays Deadpool is not the original guy that plays Deadpool, I will not go watch it. Because the odds are they found somebody who will comply with what they want and go with what the Disney wants, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. No gay jokes, no masturbation jokes, no Disney jokes against Disney. It's fucked. It's stupid.
Don't involve her in this. Oh my god, because you're mad because they made a joke about Blake Lively? Hollywood thinks Blake Lively is a joke. I mean, I don't know what the situation is. I just know that it's a mess, and she's in the center of it. I did not. Reportedly cast Avengers Doomsday as a sausage fest. Good, women will show up.
Woo! Yes,
Women, a
another
lot of
sausage
women love
fest.
sausage. So bring it. Bring us some
I eat
sausage. I'll
Potter's
take
sausage
it.
all the
Anyway,
time.
the 27 cast members revealed in their chair gimmick, only 6 are women. Vanessa Kirby, Letitia Wright, Florence Pugh, Hannah Jo
All
Cameron,
right.
and Rebecca Romaine. Where are the female heroes? Well, we don't. First of all, we don't know everybody that's going to be in the movie because there was people that are going to be in the movie that weren't announced then. Haley Atwell's supposed to be in it too, etc., etc. You're full of shit. Just for the sake of exercise, Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, Monica, and the one Monica Mario Rambeau variant, She-Hulk, Wanda Maximoff, and a variant. But you're Kate Bishop, Jessica Jones. I love Jessica Jones, by the way. Jessica Jones is awesome. Miss America Chavez could just go away because she was boring as hell. It goes on and on about these female characters, but they've been in there. It's so stupid. You're really reaching. I can't even read anymore. You're so full of shit.
What else new?
Fingers crossed I don't have to suffer another woman too powerful goes crazy storyline. You know what? If you read the fucking comics, God, please, do we have to suffer another Leah article? Leah is very insufferable. Do we even know who this person is? Let's go see if we can see who this person
Send
is.
me message.
Oh yeah, looks just like it.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm going to choose to be nice today. I choose kindness. For now.
She, her, right away, you know what's going on. Has been working in digital entertainment journalism since 2013. I said 2014 or so, covered it, called it. Been on the Marvel beat professionally since Daredevil was a Netflix series. Yeah, I watched those too. She was on the Marvel podcast that no one listens to. Yeah, whatever. Lord of the Rings to stage lighting. She's looking at comics about teenagers, so she probably did with the comics. So you should know better. And she used to test toys for Hasbro. So what? So do a lot of people. I collect a lot of toys from Hasbro. I mean, I can't even. Okay, let's go to the next.
I collect. Actually, do I collect anything? I guess I collect a bit of like I still collect Pokemon cards. I'm not one of those scalpers really that I don't care for the common ones. I do like holographics. I like the shiny thing. Say what you will, I do keep the other cards though, and I normally put them in a separate binder. Normally, or actually I think they might be in that tin I got up there. I got like a lunchbox, Pokemon card, lunchbox, and tins. But I don't go out there and I understand being a collector. And something I hate about the Pokemon industry is scalpers. People who will go up, buy the booster packs, all the booster packs might I add, and either will go online and resell the booster packs at a markup, or open all the booster packs, take out the holographics, and sell the holographics for like a profit. The holographics, EX, and all that. Yes, I have cards I do intend to eventually sell, but I don't want, like, if I sell them, I'm going to get them graded. They're going to be cards that, like, I say, if they're like, I keep them in good condition, I like to look at them. But if I need the money, I get them graded and hope that they come back a 10. I have one card. If it came back, it's not graded, unfortunately. I have one card. The last I checked, the last one that graded a 10 sold for was nearly $2,000. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you though. I don't think that card would come back a 10 if I sent it to get graded because it was before I took good care of my cards, so I left it in a safe and it bent a little bit. I've been holding it in a binder and hoping that maybe it just isn't that damaged, and I hope to eventually go send it to get graded. I figure it'll come back anywhere from a 8 to a 10 because it's in good condition, but not a great condition. I see no wear or tear on it. I just see it's slightly bent, so I figure that's why it might be closer to an 8 or a 9. Maybe even a 7. I doubt a 7. 7 pretty bad. I think it's closer to 8 or a 9, which is valued significantly less than 2,000.
Next one. Okay, so that was Marvel.
It's a Charizard card.
We got Star Wars, guys. Star Wars sacrifices women for the Mandalorian.
Oh.
Because we got, Sigourney Weaver's character, but that's not enough. No, it's not enough. 6 years after Disney took a chance on scaling Star Wars down a TV series, and for the Mandalorian Grogu, they jumped to cinemas, kind of putting a growing pains. Well, they waited too long. Lukewarm review.
I can't tell you anything about The Mandalorian because I have not actually watched The Mandalorian. I watched shorts of The Mandalorian. It looks entertaining, but it's locked behind Disney's streaming service, and yeah, I'm not gonna give Disney any amount of fucking money. So, no.
Reviews from critics, but none have seemed quite so obvious to me as the question that's in my mind: where did all the women from the Mandalorian go? What women? Bo-Katan, the Armorer. Armorer would have no reason to be there. Bo-Katan, they were pretty much making her take over in season 3. Cara Dune, we all know what happened there. You had plenty of really good characters, and you just like tossed them aside. It's ridiculous. Contrary to popular belief, I allowed queer women with equally loud and queer opinions on the internet. Do not sit back and watch things that count how many times marginalized individuals appear in my media. I doubt that highly. I think you totally do that. The absence of women with speaking
Yep,
roles in the
probably.
Mandalorian and Grogu stands out because the TV had a deep bench of side characters. I agree. There was a lot of really great female characters. The number one great female character is Cara Dune. We all know what happened there, and she does mention that in a more positive way, which is surprising. The lack of women has
Huh.
been hotly debated in the Disney era.
Even I know what happened there. She had different opinions than what the Disney execs had or producer or some shit, and then they chose to wrongfully terminate her contract. And now they're engaged. Last I checked, they're engaged with a lawsuit, and Elon Musk is funding her lawsuit. Last I checked, like saying like, yeah, if we want to go multi-billion-dollar company against multi-billion-dollar company, let's fucking do it. It's like, I'm like, I don't. I'm gonna get something straight. I don't like Elon Musk, but he is pro freedom of speech, and I am with him on that. I believe no matter what your opinion is, you should be allowed to express your opinion. But when like you start attacking others and you start trying to spread your opinion as a fact, I do have a problem with that. And it's like you should not be able to delete anyone's comment pointing out that you're just straight up lying. It's why I like community notes on Twitter, or X is what they now call it. But like, I like that. I'm like, it shows people who are like bad actors who are lying. They get exposed in the community notes for being a liar, and that it pisses them off. It's like they post something, community note pops up, and like you're lying, and then they get mad because they got community noted, and then like they'll even try to take their post down and repost it, and then they'll just get community noted all over again. It's fucking funny to watch that shit happen.
They're talking about relationships between women, like Ahsoka and Sabine. Then the
Uh,
moms from the acolyte.
Ahsoka, if Ahsoka is not a lesbian, I want to point that out. Anyone that says she is, maybe you could say the character converted to lesbian, but I'm gonna say the character is bi. And the reason that is because if you ever watched the animated series, Ahsoka did have love interest in male characters. I think it's one male character she had a love interest with, although it was never like formally said. And I believe he died. Like I can't remember how. I think he was trying to save her or something like that, and like it just ended up killing him. I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched the animated series. But I remember she had like an interest in the guy. Was not ever said because the Jedi cannot technically have a love interest because that is a way to the dark side. But it was very heavily applied that she had some interest in him. And if I remember right, he died somehow during a battle.
And May and her sister, the acolyte, and Andor, and no one really watched the acolyte and Andor. I'm sorry, and Ahsoka watched more, but it was on the downturn as well. Um,
Soko's
they're saying
cool.
outside of Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Ward and the female half of the Hutt twins, there's a lack of women to say or do anything in Star Wars, except for all the women that were fighter pilots and stuff. Um, they go on about Kira and Solo. And they said the cameo felt like Favreau trying to make Star Wars Alien Avatar, come together with Sigourney Weaver. That could be, but and honestly, she seemed kind of bored. I don't think she gave it her all on that one. Neon mentioned that to me, and I'm like, eh. So they go
Might have
down
been.
here talking about that Filoni and Favreau saw a void in Star Wars history of women characters. There was Cara Dune. Her controversy involving the actress aside had an intriguing backstory as part of the rebellion and a survivor of Alderaan. Her story and show may have tragically been cut short, but she was just as much a part of the Mandalorian as a post Empire did in Grogu War. Yes, agreed with you. I agree with you. Cara Dune was like the one really kick-ass female character we got out of the Mandalorian, and they just
And then they
completely
removed her.
punted her because people were mad that she didn't vote the way they wanted. It's not about
Oh,
pronouns
that's what
because
it was.
she was very polite and very professional in how she handled that, and a lot of people, other
So because she didn't vote for the right person, they wanted to remove her. That is fucking illegal as shit. And if I hope she wins that lawsuit. Because if she wins that lawsuit, she gonna get a big ass payday.
people at Lucasfilm didn't have pronouns in their bio either. She was harassed incessantly for months, and Lucasfilm did nothing because I believe they were in on it, in my opinion. But Cara Dune was a fantastic
Probably
character,
was,
and I would love
but
to
that's
see
my
her
opinion
in this
too.
movie, but punted. Um,
I can't say for sure that they were in on it, but if they do nothing about it, I cannot say that they weren't in on it. If they knew it was happening and they refused to do anything, then I'm going to say they were in on it. But that's my opinion. But if they knew it was happening and they did something about it, then I'd say they were they probably weren't in on it. But from the looks of it, I just won't say they didn't do anything because they got rid of her. To me, they fired her because she didn't vote the right way. And while they try to say that's not the reason, it is very, very showing. There's like evidence very showing that it actually is the reason. And I figure she's got a strong case for that lawsuit.
they're talking about the Armorer, and I like the Armorer. Armorer is a great character as well, and the actress is very nice. I've seen her in panels.
The hell is this?
And there was no need for her in the
The
scene
hell
in
was
these
that?
movies. And they're
Mosquito?
talking about the different,
Ow.
the Creed of the Mandalore and Bo-Katan and all that stuff, which we talked about already. So they're going on here to say about the women of Mandalorian weren't all cut for the same, from the same
Ooh,
badass cloth
fuck.
either. It goes on about the different characters and how who worked for where and all that stuff. But regardless, the differences made the women of Mandalorian stand out in their own. And even though some were background characters, and basically I'm pissed because you didn't put the women into the Mandalorian movie. But little girls need to see themselves on screen too. I gotta tell you, I was at the theater, and when I was at the theater, there was a lot of women there, all older women, but a lot of women were there
Old
at the theater to
ladies.
see it, and they were excited to be there. I, they didn't seem to care. All right, so whatever. And then we did this one before with Allison, sex and politics in Star Wars, and it's radioactive and all that shit, and
uh,
psychologically draining discussion about Star Wars and how it's all men and Ray.
uh, sometimes, honestly, as I'm an hour and 3 minutes into this video, I'm going to share something real quick. Honestly, I do reaction. I like to do reaction, but reacting to all this drama sometimes, to say it's taking a damage on my mental health, I would say is actually pretty true. Lately I've started to feel more depressed and like frustrated and angry and like because I just see more like so so much bad news, so much shitty things going on. I want to start trying to do reacts to maybe funnier things to try to lighten the mood. I would like to hear y'all's opinion on that, if like you think that'd be a great idea or not, because while I like to react to controversial things, every now and then I might just need to take a break. I don't want to stop uploading though, so I like to keep uploading, but like sometimes I figure I need to take a break and stop reacting to controversial things because I guess mental wear and tear. People want to say men's mental health is a joke or some shit. It's fucking not. And the people who dismiss it and say it's not real, they're just I want to say that they're just not human themselves. They have no understanding for a human's life. They want to believe that men are not that men don't have emotions because that makes them feel better about themselves because it justifies their opinions. I'm going to tell you right now, men have just as much emotion as anybody else. When somebody dies, we feel sad. When we hear bad news, we feel sad, we feel anger, we feel frustration, we feel emotions just like everybody else.
And all that. We talked about that the other day. And it's just ridiculous how, they use the word woke too often to describe this stuff, and they keep women out. Women have not been kept out. Women have not been.
Yeah, women haven't been kept out. That's just false right there. And the deal about people saying using woke too much, yes, people are using woke too much, but I want to say this. When it stops being true, it'll stop being used. And as it stands, like a lot of it is true.
Kept out of Star Wars. They have never been kept out of Star Wars. There has been a woman in Star Wars since the beginning. And again, the first Star Wars movie was saved because George Lucas's wife edited it and made a better copy of it, or at least worked with them to make it better. But Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars.
First wife.
Let's be honest here. He put her in charge. She is solely responsible for all the missteps.
Yep.
Talk about Rey, and of course Rose Tico and all that crap. And this might be a different article I read. Kelly Tran, no, it's the same one. Moses Ingram, Laura Dern, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, all annoying. I mean, I don't mind the actors. It's the characters they played. We're like, where the hell did Reva come from? Holdo and Tico, where the hell did they come from? They just showed up. And their whole point of them being there was to be the foil to the men. But there's like this apparent, like, we need to talk about women and everything, and that's going to be like their marching orders, because these websites collapse, especially the Mary Sue. You're going to see more and more and more and more of this. Oh, hurry up, clickbait this, talk about, something that's going to make people mad. It's going to piss off the chuds. That's what you're going to see more and more and more. It's a load of shit. You can get away with saying your opinion's invalid because you have a penis, but if you're women and you're trying to say that women are being kept out, don't you dare fucking tell me that when you come out with me those piece of crap arguments that aren't even valid. I mean, you have to, from a certain point of view, you have to stretch. Like, I mean, you are literally a human pretzel at this point after writing that article for the stuff that you put in there. And now, now that your feet are over your head, slap yourself with your foot, because this is stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just tired of it. And I'm tired of, even if you have valid criticism and you have a penis, you can't say anything. It's like when I was told I couldn't say anything because I was internalized misogynist because I thought Rey was Mary Sue. Fuck you. Don't care. I'm not an internalized misogynist, and Rey is a Mary Sue.
It's something like what people try to do is like, they always, I'm sorry, I don't need to say it like that. Most of the time, people try to dehumanize somebody else that they disagree with to further make themselves feel validated. So if they say, like, they're trying to say she's a misogynist, that just says more about the person who's trying to call her a misogynist. That tells me that that person doesn't feel confident in their own opinion, so what they do is they result in attacking them and trying to dehumanize this person because their opinions are valid, or they want to invalidate their opinion. So they try to invalidate their opinion to them, so they feel like more confidence in their own opinion and like that they are right, that they are morally right, they are morally the one higher superiority. And it's just, I'm sorry, it's just not the case. I'm like, we are all entitled to our own opinion, like, and you can have the opinion that she is a misogynist if that's what you want to believe, but at the end of the day, it's just not true. And if it's true, well, then you actually need some solid evidence. Something that could support your claim. Otherwise, you're just making false statements. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and if you will, come check out Clownfish TV. Go subscribe to them, watch the video yourself. I'll link down the video down in the description below, as well as their main channel. I appreciate y'all watching, and if y'all have more feedback, feel free to comment down below. And hope y'all have a great day.